Oh God, this can't be good.
Welcome back, my fellow hobby enthusiasts, and thank you for joining me on yet another exciting episode of Hobby of the Week. On today's episode, I'm going to be giving you a little insight into a hobby that I've recently picked up, but arguably spend the most amount of time on now, video editing. This video is going to primarily focus on the journey that I've had with video editing, the program I use, and how I go about creating each and every one of my YouTube videos. So without further ado, let's dive on in.
All right, well, here we are. We're at my desktop right here, and what we're going to be using is my favorite editing platform, which is going to be DaVinci Resolve, which is right here. Now, I won't say anything along the lines of it being the best video out there, simply because I haven't tried all of them. But I will say that I truly am in love with it, simply because it suits my needs the best. Now, depending on the topic or style of video that I plan on making, I would choose one of these three folders, and many folders in the future, depending on what kind of material or playlist I want to add to my channel. So let's focus on one that I've recently created, and let's do a top story. These are the ones where I focus on making more introductory styles video on how to get into specific hobbies. And let's start a new project right here, and we're going to name this Test Run 1. Now, the reason I choose different playlists and I have different project folders within this program, DaVinci Resolve, is because depending on the style of video I'm making, I would have different editing techniques that I would use. So right here, once we get into this platform, I would go into this media folder right here, media pod or tile right here, and this is where I'm going to add all the material that I want to add for the project. So for example, if I were working on this video, I'd have a bunch of clips that I would record, and they would be in my folder right here. So we can go into my PC, and if I was starting with videos, I would go to videos and I would add any. So let's add my most recent video, some kayaking videos, and let's add about just 4 of them. So, and you can do that, simply just drag them in. Usually this will pop up where it says change project frame rate. I usually go with just changed. Usually the default of the program is about 24 frames per second. I usually always do minimum of 30. So we change that, and then we minimize that, and we have all our videos here. Once I have all the video clips that I've recorded for this project added into my media pool, I would then go over to this edit tab, and I would add all of them in the order that they need to be added. So simply like that, click and drag. And then once I would have all my videos on, I would watch it and trim any material that I needed to trim off. So, in case there was extra spacing like that. So I would trim that off, and then I would put them together because no one wants to see the awkward moments where you're reaching to pause the camera, or you're clicking a button, or you're taking a breath or sigh of relief. So there's just stuff that you want to always cut, and that's something that every video and content creator ever does. Once I have all the clips added and any excess material trimmed off, this is where it's time I start looking into what extra material I'd want to be put in. Be it the photos I've taken, photos off the internet, or extra videos that I want to record and add in need be. If I need photos off the internet, I use specific websites that allow for copyright-free photos to avoid getting into any legal trouble. So if it is something you're considering doing in your own videos and posting them, please keep that in mind. Once I get all the material I need from various websites, then I would again add them to my media folder, and they would be here. So you would create a folder, and all these are are pictures that I've found that are copyright free. And again, simply what I would do is I can go back to my media, have this over here, and then I can just drag them in. And then once they're there, they're in my timeline, or once they're in the media pool, I can then add them to my timeline wherever I want. Now, something that I like to do is I use overlay images depending on the style of video, and I would simply click and drag them onto it, trim them again however long I want them, fix their ratio if I want them to be full image, do I want them on the side, something like that. So, and that's how you can get overlay images. I'll actually put an example of that right here where my mouse is. Once I get all the material I need, I go back into the editing process to put it all together. So again, once I have all the photos I want, then I would add them in, be it as overlays or just as the main focus, as I just demonstrated. Or we can go into other editing techniques, such as where I add transitions and or music if I so desire. So even DaVinci, this program right here, has various effects that I can add. And a lot of these were added in this most recent update. I actually used to work on DaVinci Resolve 16, but ever since the update, they've added some more features. So right here, I can go into transitions. So if I wanted to transition here, I can go right here, and this is what kind of example of what they look like. So for those that want transitions in their videos, this is a great platform that comes with a lot of them for free. And again, this is the free version of DaVinci Resolve. In case anyone was wondering, all you have to do is make sure that you have a computer that has the system requirements that are able to run this, as this is a bit more of a high level, high editing, video editing platform. Once I've done all the editing techniques I want, I've added all the videos that I want. So for example, if I wanted to do my ending clip, I'll just add that as a separate video, and it would play like that, has the music part of it that you can hear in the background now. Once I've done everything, I'm satisfied with my video, the next step would to simply be to deliver it. Now there's a lot more tabs right here, such as Fusion, Color, Fairlight. Those can be a bit more advanced, and there's something that myself, as an amateur editor, I have yet to truly dabble or truly understand. I dabble with it on my own, but I haven't really used the effects too much, just because editing is something that is quite an extensive process, and everything comes with a learning curve over time. And I hope that one day in the future, I'd be able to make a video editing video again, where I can display the difference from being an amateur video editor to a high-level editor. But once I've completed my video and I'm satisfied with the result, I can go here to deliver, and then I have the different information that I need to do, such as file name, the location on my computer, and then all these different formattings, such as the quality, which is very important, because you want to make sure that you're getting the best quality video that you possibly can, and for whatever platform can run it. And then of course you want to make sure that the ratio is good. So if I'm uploading to YouTube, it actually has a default here, which is 1920 by 1080 HD. Frame rate, again, this is 29.97. I guess that's what I recorded in. You can change that before you start editing the process, but make sure that they're around the same as whatever you recorded in. Otherwise, you'll run into some technical difficulties. Once I have everything done, I would add to my render queue. Again, I would need to title it. So let's say test 1. It would save. It's added to a render queue. I would render it. It would load up, and then the video would be on my hard drive. And the next step would just simply go over to YouTube and load it up. And then all I have to do after that is I focus on creating a thumbnail image, as well as figuring out any other SEO videos, tips, and tricks that I have to add to my YouTube video to get it promoted out there. Now, many of you may be wondering at this time, how did I get into video editing and why did I use this program? Well, video editing was something that I started to dabble with back in January after I created my very first video, where I started with nothing but my phone and iMovie. And iMovie is definitely a great platform for any of those that are using it. I do recommend it. And for those that have never tried video editing, I do recommend giving it a shot if you do have your own phone or tablet, or if you even have your own MacBook. But after a month or so, I realized that it was time I got myself a new laptop for reasons aside from video editing. I just needed something for myself. And I also realized I didn't want a MacBook, but rather a strong gaming laptop, because I like to game and I also like to play VR. And upon realization that I wasn't getting a MacBook, I realized I needed to transition from iMovie into another video editing platform. So once I started doing research, I found into the best free video editing platforms. And after trying a few of them out, my decision was that DaVinci was the one I was the most comfortable with. And there are a lot of other videos, and I'll put some in the link in the comment below, or the description below, I should say, where I got a lot of guidance onto why I really like DaVinci and different support systems. But again, I just wanted to display today a lot of the video editing techniques that I use for my videos, and to hopefully inspire any of you to use these in your own videos if you ever wanted to create. So again, DaVinci Resolve is the platform I use, and thank you so much.
And that's all we have time for today on our show. Thank you so much for joining me on this video editing journey, and just maybe you've been inspired to try video editing yourself. Be sure to subscribe to see what hobby I do next time. And when it comes to hobbies, write down in the comments below. What do you do?